Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Tyree from On the Hop Podcast. Today I have some bonus content for you guys. The bonus content we'll be covering will be in the sport of college basketball. And I'll be sharing my thoughts on March Madness, the last two rounds that we just witnessed of the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. I'll be sharing my thoughts on those two rounds. So this is actually the madness is real because for the first time since 1979, we did not see, since the seeding was created on the men's side for March Madness, we did not see a number one seed advance to the Elite Eight. All the four number one seeds were eliminated before the Elite Eight transpired, and before we got to that round, we saw number one seeds of Alabama get eliminated, Houston get eliminated, the reigning defending college champions of March Madness, Kansas, were eliminated. And we saw the number one seed Purdue, who were eliminated in the first game, being eliminated by a 16 seed in the first round. So all four of the number one seeds were eliminated before the Elite Eight. That is the first time, again, since the seeding happened, was created for the men's side since 1979. So that's huge, and that shows the magnitude of how special the March Madness really is. There's no other sports tournament competing for a championship that competes with March Madness because it's spectacular, it's special. Anything can happen. Anybody has a chance to knock off anybody, and upsets are common to happen more than any other championship tournament in sports today. So March Madness has definitely lived up to the hype, lived up to all the expectations that I had for it, and then some with all the events that have transpired. So let's start off with the Sweet 16. In the first game of the Sweet 16, we saw Kansas State knock off Michigan State in a thriller overtime game, which Kansas State won that game 98-93 in overtime. I do believe that this was the best game that I've witnessed in March Madness this year in the tournament. It's been special. It's been spectacular. That game was those two teams went tooth and nail with each other all the way to the final finish. And definitely gave us five exciting quarters of college basketball. Definitely, I think that's the most competitive, most exciting, most fun game that we've seen in the tournament so far. And the performance that we saw from point guard Marquez Noel from Kansas State had a spectacular performance that will not be forgotten. He had 20 points and 19 assists. A star was definitely born that night. It definitely had one of the best March Madness performances that I've seen in a long time. So kudos to him, and then we had Gonzaga and UCLA, who renewed their own rivalry. Every time these two teams meet up with each other in March Madness, it's always a spectacular game from start to finish. And this show no different than what these two teams have done in the past when they met up with each other. And I do believe that the committee needs to get together and discuss further evaluations of Gonzaga and UCLA playing each other more in the regular season. Definitely, this is a game that a lot of fans love to see. A matchup the country loves to see every time these two teams play each other in March Madness. Why not get it more in the regular season, starting next season? And I know UCLA is heading into a new conference, but I still believe the committee can get it done, and I still believe we can get these Gonzaga and UCLA matchup at least once a year. So Gonzaga won this game 79-76. It was highlighted by their senior forward, Drew Timme, who had an outstanding performance in this game. He had 36 points and 13 rebounds to help Gonzaga knock off UCLA in the Sweet 16. And then these two teams cannot be undenied, or their focus is definitely on them. I'll get to them later on as the video goes on. But San Diego State and Miami both were responsible for knocking off the final two number one seeds that were left remaining in the Sweet 16. Both eliminated them on Friday, and both of those programs are the reason why my bracket is officially dead. That's right. Yes, my bracket is dead because of San Diego State and the Miami Hurricanes. Because if you guys look at the post that I had before March Madness started, where I posted how I had the Elite Eight going, the Final Four, the championship game, and my winner, I had Alabama and Houston in the championship game, with Houston winning it all in Houston. But that did not happen because both of these teams were eliminated in the Sweet 16. Therefore, my bracket is officially dead in the water, and I will not have a happy Cinderella story to my March Madness bracket that I filled out. But all jokes aside, kudos to San Diego State and Miami Hurricanes for knocking off the two number one seeds remaining in the tournament. So then we move on to the Elite Eight, which we saw the two games transpire Saturday and today. We saw that UConn it will be advancing. They punched their ticket to play in the Final Four next weekend in Houston. Florida Atlantic has also punched their ticket to be in the Final Four. They are the Cinderella story right now of March Madness. San Diego State has punched their ticket as well, knocking off Creighton today to get to the Final Four. The first time that they made it to the Final Four in program history. And then we seen the Miami Hurricanes punch their ticket by knocking off Texas in a good competitive game today to make sure that they have punched their ticket to Houston next week to play in the Final Four. So it's crazy. The madness is real because the highest seed remaining out of those four programs is UConn. And I'll just say this, UConn, thank you for actually showing up on my bracket because you're the only team that made it to the Final Four that I had going all the way to the Final Four. So, round of applause for UConn because Marquette didn't make it, Alabama didn't make it, and Houston did not make it to the Final Four for me. So, congratulations to UConn for actually doing your job on my side of the bracket. But yes, they are the highest seed remaining. They are the fourth seed remaining in March Madness, which is the highest seed remaining in the tournament. It's crazy. I think this is the craziest tournament that I've truly watched ever since I started watching March Madness over the years. I cannot remember a time like this when there's been so many underdogs left in the Final Four, and then there's no really true-cut favorite left in the tournament. There's not a number 1 seed left, a number 2 seed left, a number 3 seed left. This has never happened since I've been paying attention to March Madness and been watching the tournament. This is something historic that we are seeing all four underdogs left in the tournament actually all having a legitimate chance to win the championship this year. So we're left with a 1/4 seed, which is UConn, 2 fifth seeds, which is Miami and San Diego State, and then we have a 9th seed left, which is Florida Atlantic. So all these teams have a legitimate chance to win and complete their true underdog story. But if I have to pick a winner with these 4 teams left remaining, I'm going to go ahead and go with Miami. I do believe that it's going to be the best matchup next weekend between Miami and UConn. That's going to be a hard-fought competitive game. And I think that's for the best because we're seeing the best of the best left remaining play against each other, in my opinion. Meanwhile, you're having the true underdogs play against each other, which is San Diego State and Florida Atlantic play against each other. So I think these are the best matchups that we're going to be getting next weekend. I think it's fair the way how things played out in the tournament-wise while we're getting those 2 matchups in the Final Four. But if I'm a betting man, I'm going with Miami to close out the deal and win the March Madness championship this year. I do believe the reasons why they will win the tournament compared to the other 3 programs left, they have the best talent left remaining. Their roster is filled with guys that could be ready to make the jump from college basketball into the NBA as soon as tomorrow. They have a lot of talent, a lot of depth left on that Miami Hurricanes roster. The second reason is because they have the March Madness experience under their belt. Yes, you can say that for all 4 of the teams remaining because they made it to this part of March Madness so far. But the Miami Hurricanes this roster has been there in the deep waters, in the deep territory of March Madness. Last year, if you guys remember, they were in the Elite Eight playing against Kansas when they were eliminated. So this roster has the ability to adapt. They have the March Madness experience to go ahead and close the deal. And last but not least, I do believe they are the best team remaining out of the 3 other programs left. I do believe that they have the best depth remaining. I do believe coaching is going to be an experience also the reason why they win it all. So if I'm a betting man, I'm going with Miami to close the deal. And I do believe the Hurricanes will be college basketball champions and close it out and win March Madness this year. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.